I'm Mensalad, and I saw Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. It is directed by George Lucas, and if you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. Alright, first of all, the movie starts with trade disputes, and this almost put me to sleep the first time I watched it. Okay, I've seen this movie several times, and each time it is not easy to remember what the heck they were talking about. Trade disputes. Oh, let's just go into the space place. Oh, let's go talk to these leaders who talk in really funny accents, which I really like, by the way. I like those guys' appearances, and I like those guys' accents. Oh, let's just have a talk with them. Oh, we can't talk with them anymore. Oh, it's time to unleash the Jedi lightsaber and go through the door. And then we have these guys. Oh, the Jedi must not be trusted. You wanna know why? Because you guys tried to backstab the freaking Jedi, okay? Oh my goodness. And you wonder why the Jedi can't be trusted. They can't trust you. Oh my goodness gracious. Alright. Anyway, that part is the least interesting part of this movie. It just feels forced. It feels like I'm forcing politics into Star Wars. Oh, just because Star Wars is already about talking about leaders. Oh, just because it's about leaders doesn't mean it's talking about politics. We're not discussing trade routes in the first 3 movies. We're just talking about some guys who just happen to be in positions of power, okay? That doesn't make it politics. Oh, man, I'm gonna be so enraged. This movie is not a fun experience. Oh, let's just go down to Tatooine. It's time to go down to Tatooine. And we have Qui-Gon Jinn, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they're having a nice little time. Obi-Wan Kenobi has this really cool rat tail, which why does he have a rat tail? And he put the rest of his hair, he has this hair, but then a tiny little...
He has a mullet.
A mullet? Is that what it's called? A mullet?
Yeah, it's a mullet with a rat tail.
A mullet with a rat tail? That's not fashion. Also, I forgot to introduce my guest, Dark Maul.
I'm Dark Maul. At last, we will destroy the Jedi and people who like Star Wars.
Oh my goodness. Also, I'm gonna throw away these toys.
What? No, that's my naked C-3PO. That's the last episode 1 toy I have.
What happened to your other one? Oh, because I threw them away because I hate this movie so much.
Yeah.
I actually came into Dark Maul's place of business and threw all the Phantom Menace toys because of how much this movie is enraging. All right, let's talk about Anakin. Let's go down and have a little chat with Anakin. Oh, he's in what seems to be, I would call it the equivalent of an auto shop, but it's space. And okay, first of all, why do you have the Jedi mind tricks if they don't work on half the people? Oh, you will let us have this race. Oh, you will let us win. You will let us have this thing. And he's like, I will not play to your Jedi mind tricks. And it's it only worked in the first movie. It doesn't work in any other movie. Why the heck does this even exist? Is this guy a strong-minded guy? How do you tell if somebody's strong-willed, strong-minded versus weak-willed, weak-minded? How do you know the difference? If it works, okay, you try a trick on them, then they know that you're trying to put a trick on them. Now what? What negotiating power do you have? Now you've done a little trick. Man. This movie, I have not touched any parts of it. Okay, we meet Anakin, which is nice. We also have Padme exists.
You touched it now.
I've been touched. I'm crying. I've been touched. This movie.
Padme, you were talking about Padme.
Thanks, Dark Maul.
Or Amidala, either one.
Amidala, Padme. Frickin' Padme's just sitting there, just lifeless as a brick. She's just like, here I am. I'm covered with a bunch of jewelry. And I'm like, okay, I guess, whatever, sure, cool. Why should I care? Oh, I guess you're in trade disputes too? And some lines were crossed? And now you gotta have a little bit of war, but you don't want to start war. So you're trying to negotiate with people? Oh. man, when she meets Anakin for the first time, it's like, okay, they could have like an older brother, like older sister, younger brother relationship. They could have a nice little, like, I don't know, sibling relationship where they can learn from each other. Who knew that in the later movies, Padme and Anakin would be together? Think of the age difference. But anyway, this is not this movie.
More like this movie's written by Groom Lucas.
Groom Lucas. Yeah, that's who wrote this movie. Also, alright, it's time for the Dustin kick up. Oh, it's dusty, but it's like, you still see them. It's not really that dusty, actually. It's not dusty at all. Like, why? Oh, look at this terrible dust storm. We're gonna get 2 particles of dust in my nose. Oh my goodness. Also, they gotta fix the ship. But in order to get the parts for the ship, they have to be in this race. Wow, I can't believe it. They have to be in this race. You know what they gotta do? What is it called, the race that they do?
The pod race.
Pod racing.
At the, Bunta something?
Bunta something. Who cares about this place? I didn't even know how to name. Anyway, pod racing. The part in which they pod race is like the best part of the movie because we get to see like POV shots. We get to see multiple different camera angles of this pod race, and it actually feels thrilling. Like, I'm looking at Anakin, who's like amazing. He's so young. He's human. No other human has ever done pod racing, and he's like awesome at it, and he's like doing pod racing. He's going up against a bunch of fellows, and his like device has been messed with. Oh my goodness. And it's really tense when he does the pod racing. He it seems like he's not gonna win until he wins. And then it's like, wow, I can't believe it. Good job, Anakin, you did it. Good job. Does that mean you're worthy of being a Jedi? Can you go to Yoda and be taught how to be a Jedi and stuff? Does that make you worthy? Hopefully. I don't know yet, not in this part of the movie. Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks is an abomination. Do you subscribe to the theory that Jar Jar Binks is actually a Sith and then they pulled it away before they could execute that Order 66 in everybody's head?
No.
You don't think that?
No, I think they just wanted a cartoony mascot. I think they wanted a new C-3PO, and then it didn't work, so then they just downplayed him in the sequels. And I think people who come up with Dark Jar Jar are just fucking idiots. Dark
Jar Jar is not real. Stop having it in your heads. He's just here to sell toys. And what kid wants to buy terrible Jar Jar Bink toys? Okay, he's just there for comic relief. He's just flailing his arms around. Ew, yeah, let's have a flail arms around. Let me take you to this underwater place where you can talk to people about trade disputes. More trade disputes we're talking about in this freaking movie. Alright, wow, I can't believe it. Why did nobody sense that freaking fish underwater until it was almost too late? You guys have the Force! Aren't you able to sense things? Oh no! 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 You don't detect the fish until it's too late, and then we gotta have this chase scene. Oh my goodness, it's high tension! But if you have a brain, then you think, wait, this could have been prevented. Who cares about that? Oh my goodness. The part. You remember the part where they're having a little chat and then everything goes right? That's this entire movie. But it seems like every part of this movie just seems kind of lazy. I wouldn't say lazy. There's a lot of money to it. It just seems weird. It seems not natural, like whatsoever. Who knew that trade disputes would get into a big battle and transition from trade disputes to big battle, and there's 2 teams, or got a bunch of droids, or got a bunch of people. Wow, I can't believe it. Go force field. What's the point of the force field if droids can just walk through it? What is the point? Oh, for bullets, for lasers? But if just anyone can enter it, then why the heck do you have a force field? Anyway, we have freaking Jar Jar Binks. Somehow, someone made him a general, which they're stupid. Why would you make Jar Jar Binks a general? Maybe they saw him accidentally killing everyone, and making the war turn on their favor, on their side of the favor. You know, the side that Jar Jar Binks is on? Yeah, that side. Yeah, they're like, wow, I can't believe you gotta do the same for this war. So that's what he does. That's what he does. He actually wins the war. And I'm just like, why?
And don't forget, Anakin flew into space to blow up the thing. Talk about that.
Oh yeah, I remember Anakin was like, there was a whole plot point with Anakin was like, oh, I gotta go, and just, not my ship, by the way. And there's like a lot of moments where it's just, oh, well, Anakin can't start this ship because reasons. Oh no, it's not working. He doesn't know which button to press. He's like, oh, it's this one. I'm like, it took you 20 minutes to figure out. I thought you were a pilot. I thought you were an expert pilot, but why would I expect that from a 9-year-old? Anyway, he blows up this the thing outside. Basically, originally at the very beginning of the movie, it shows like this like base. He blows that up. Good moment. I liked when he blows things up. Wow, explosion! Why am I excited for explosions? I shouldn't be excited for explosions.
Because he blew up the big balls, and R2-D2 helped him, like in that other movie, Star Wars. Remember when they blew up the ball with R2-D2?
I do remember that. Also, there's like a bunch of different like R2-D2 units, like just around, and like a bunch of different ships. And everyone's hitting all the different R2-D2s except for this R2-D2. And it's like, why is everyone terrible at shooting? If you're able to hit the other ships and the other R2-D2 machines, why are you not hitting R2-D2?
Talk about the Jedi fight with Darth Maul.
That's the next part I'm talking about, Darth Maul. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have a Jedi fight. We have Obi-Wan Kenobi's just chilling there. But we also have Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul. And they're having a pretty cool battle. This is the best battle ever. And you know about the music? I've actually played that same like fight music, the one in the Phantom Menace, the really cool soundtrack. This is the coolest music in the entire movie. I actually played that in band. That was cool.
Sounds like they're saying, corn on the cob, corn on the kebab.
I don't know what that means.
It sounds like they're saying corn on the cob.
Corn on the cob.
Yeah, when you listen to the music, say corn on the cob, corn on the kebab. It sounds like they're singing that.
You heard him. You heard Darth Maul. Those are instructions. If you ever decide to watch this movie, this terrible movie, I don't want to swear, but this movie has made me almost do that. So anyway, we have this cool battle. And it's pretty cool. I like Darth Maul. He has a little double thing. He has the phoom, and then he has a little halt thing. And goes, oh, it's a double-edged sword. Phoom, phoom. And he's able to do that. He's really good at it. And it seems Qui-Gon Jinn is evenly matched with him, which is very nice. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe it. Actual tension in this movie. Well, that and also pod racing. These are the two actual tense moments in this movie. And then something terrifying happens. Qui-Gon Jinn gets split in half.
No, he doesn't. He gets stabbed.
I thought he gets sliced. Who gets sliced in half?
Darth Maul gets sliced in half. Qui-Gon Jinn just gets stabbed.
Darth Maul gets sliced in half, and Qui-Gon Jinn gets stabbed. And Obi-Wan's face is pretty iconic. I can remember it in my head. He's like, oh my goodness. And then he races to Qui-Gon Jinn. He's like, oh, I'm so sad. You're dying. He's like, hey, you better have Anakin as a Padawan. You better have him as a Padawan. When I'm dead, you better Padawan him right now. And then, you know, it's fun. He actually is like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take him to Yoda. And I'm gonna make sure that he's my Padawan.
Did you think it was weird that Obi-Wan was hanging and Darth Maul had the high ground and then Obi-Wan was able to stop him? But then in episode 3, he's like, Anakin, you can't beat me, I have the high ground.
I thought it was so weird.
But Darth Maul had the high ground. Why was he so confident in the high ground when he beat the high ground advantage before? Yoda is CGI in this version, but when you watch it in theaters, he was a puppet.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so Obi-Wan has no room to talk about the high ground, and Yoda is like, oh, he's 9 years old. We can't train him. He cannot become a master. Have you ever thought, Yoda, that you denying Anakin Skywalker of being a Jedi, getting proper training, is the reason why he transitions in like 20 years and turns into Darth Vader? Have you ever considered that? Have you considered that because he doesn't feel like a normal person? He doesn't feel like that at all. Do you ever consider that? Maybe that's why he changes to the dark side, or he's lured by the dark side. He's all Palpatine actually understands him. Why do you think that you can deny him? Don't deny him service. Train him.
There was once this one guy who wanted to get into art school really bad, and he got turned down, and he also turned out to be angry years later.
You want to know who we're talking about?
He has a book.
He has a book called My Struggle. Yoda might as well create the next Hitler because of this terrible action that he's caused.
Stop putting politics in your Star Wars review of Mint Salad. Why you gotta make this review political?
This movie, Star Wars shouldn't be political, and I hate it. Stop it. Stop with the politics. I hate it. We don't need to insert politics into media. Stop it. Politics is like time-ish. It's like, it's within 4 years. If you're in America, it's like 4 years. Oh, wow, 4 8-year cycle. Wow, who cares? Media lasts forever.
Remember the whole subplot where Palpatine is a senator and he's just trying to get the Queen to get a different guy to get fired, and we spent 20 minutes on getting General Zod from Superman 2 fired from his job?
Ah, that was fun.
Wasn't that an exciting scene?
Yeah, when Palpatine the entire time is just, getting power, and then he gets power. Good job, Palpatine. Good job. Good job. Amazing.
And then they all celebrate at the end.
That was terrible. I hate that scene. Man, I wish it ended, I really wish that it ended on, oh, well, as a sad note, you gotta train Palpatine. I mean, you gotta make sure that Palpatine doesn't touch him. You gotta train Anakin. And also, Yoda's like, oh, you're denied. And then, ends like that. I wish it ended like that. No, we gotta have, oh, yeah, we're having a dance party. And it's like, who is this for? Is this for children? Is this ending for children so children know that this is a good movie? That this is a nice, happy ending movie? Is that what the purpose of that ending is for? Because it feels out of place.
When I was a kid, I was happy at the end.
To leave the theater. You were happy to leave the theater?
No, I was 9 and I was an idiot and thought this movie was good.
Now we know who this movie's audience is for. This movie is it's a slog in the writing. It looks alright, I guess. The CGI is not the best. It definitely doesn't hold up. I can definitely tell what is CGI and what isn't, because there's a lot of added CGI to the real world, and they look different. They look completely different. The texture. It really is in the texture. Even if the lighting matched, it's the texture that makes it look weird. So, yeah, the performances were wooden. I'm looking at pieces of brick and wood, and they're stiff. A lot of stiff performances, no one wanted to be here. I certainly didn't want to watch this movie, but yet I did. And I've watched it multiple times because I hate myself, and I want to watch Star Wars. And I wish there was a good Star Wars.
At least it wasn't woke.
I wanted to sleep during this movie. I wish it was woke. Because it'd be better than what is here. Oh my goodness. I gotta give this movie a solid... Oh goodness, what do I even want to give it? There's some production. There's some effort put in. There's a lot of effort put into it, actually. I don't want to, kill it because of the effort it put in. 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one. YouTube really likes that. If you want to fast track a movie review, you can do that for $20 deals on patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if you'd like to help support the daily grindiness of all them daily movie reviews, go to this link tree, find the way you can help support the daily grindiness of all them daily movie reviews. So you can go here. And until next time, mint salad sauce. See you later to my sour croutons and big bits.
Die, different Star Wars girl.